Hey guys, Q here for ButtonSmashers.com, and this is our review for Dead or Alive 6.
First, I would like to express my deepest gratitude to all of you. And now, I am happy to declare the start of the 6th Dead or Alive tournament.
Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja added again with the latest release in their popular Dead or Alive franchise with the release of Dead or Alive 6. This 3D arena brawler is possibly one of the best titles in this genre if we're just talking about its mechanics, and I was actually considering it as a possible fighting game of the year candidate for 2019, but that was before launch. It's also the reason why you're getting this review later than most. I've spoken about this in the past and I'll reiterate for those who have missed it. I'm not likely to publish reviews before a game is released anymore. The reason for this is due to games changing after release. Now in some ways this may be of benefit to the game because some publishers may release fixes to improve the experience by day one, but it's also a double-edged sword. Some games are actually better products before launch, so reviewers will have a positive experience with them, and after the reviews are live, that's when they show their true colors. Dead or Alive 6 isn't quite either of the two, but it's closer to the latter than it should be. So let's talk about the game. What is it really about? Why is it closer to the latter than the former? My initial reaction to the game was that of joy. Joy from solid gameplay mechanics, magnificent visuals, and oh my god, the shingle! Dead or Alive 6 is a great playing game while you're in the arena, but outside of that it struggles. Allow me to elaborate. You see, it has all your standard fighting game modes, however, it lacks private lobbies, because who wants to play with their friends, right? So, no battles with friends, just ranked battles, and you're not guaranteed quality connections either. You can go from this to this in a moment. And you can't quit either. Other than that, there's also no real value to play in the story campaign, and acquiring outfits are as random and tedious as eating soup with a fork. Now don't get me wrong, the story in of itself is fine. Its motivations being another Dead or Alive tournament and another evil organization seeking power without regards for those who get hurt in the process. It's a story just to have a reason for fighters to fight, and it serves its purpose well. With fighting games, you don't really need a complex story. What you need is a purpose for what you're doing and something to use up your time as you unlock new items. So if it's fine, what really was the problem? The problem is the reward system. Completing the campaign only gets you titles. There are no unlockable characters or outfits for this mode, and with it not being the deepest of plots, it leaves a bad taste upon completion. This is an issue that was also raised in our My Hero One's Justice review. Story campaigns don't need to be deep, but the rewards for time invested needs to seem worth it. This is one of those modes where your time just does not seem worth it. And this is a franchise that has fully embraced that every character is a DLC model, and it's what really hurts this game. Extra characters can only be gained via DLC, while unlocking outfits is a complete mess altogether. Depending on the version of the game you purchase, you may have access to somewhere between 24 to 26 characters, 2 of which are new to the series. The difference in price being $20 US, with the standard version costing $60 while the deluxe costs $80. If you didn't pre-order, then you'll only net 25 characters from the deluxe, with the 26 characters serving as the game's first DLC. Just to break it down to you, the deluxe edition comes with a base game with 24 characters, an additional character named Phase 4, 25 costumes, deluxe BMGs, and that's worth $20? Really? So let us get this into perspective, right? That's a whole third of the game's base price for one character, some additional outfits, and BGMs? When did games become this expensive? When did they lose their sense of fulfillment? Quite frankly, I'm not surprised. If you saw my piece, "The gaming industry is stupid and here's why," then you know who's to blame for this. And it gets worse with this game. When we got the game, the Steam page was not updated to reflect the DLC, but upon release, all was made clear. Dead or Alive 6 has some of the most expensive DLC possible right now, and that's for the Season Pass. The first Season Pass. It's a whopping $93 for a bunch of outfits and 2 characters, one of which is a legacy character being held for ransom. Now think about that. That's more than the deluxe edition, and certainly more than season passes used to cost. Season passes of old used to be a means to invest in unreleased updates at a reduced cost to the consumer. The reduced cost used to be the incentive. Devs have obviously tossed this logic out the window and have seemingly just why the frack not with this game. Oh, and people are happily purchasing this nonsense and defending these ridiculous inflations. It's basic Stockholm syndrome, but I digress. We all had an inclination that this was going to happen because just look at the disgusting cost of the DLC in Dead or Alive 5. Oh, and I'm not done with all of the negative points for this game. The other stuff isn't as bad as the DLC costs, but it is annoying. Remember my mention of unlocking outfits? Well, that's problem number 2. Outfits are unlocked via playing arcade or quests. However, arcade is a complete and utter waste of time. Completing it nets you less than 20 points for a random outfit for one character. With each outfit costing 200 plus points, it's not practical to play arcade for the purpose of gaining new outfits. The quests on the other hand net you quite a lot more in the region of 200 to 400 points for a random outfit. And this is only awarded upon completing 3 requirements for any particular quest. These can range from performing a particular move to collecting certain amount of items during battle. Their difficulty increases the more you play, and with 104 quests to complete, you'll be here for a while. Now let's be clear, I actually like the quests themselves. They offer the perfect amount of challenge as well as allowing the player to learn to play with different characters that they probably otherwise wouldn't. The problem again with this mode, like the story campaign, is the reward system. You see, not knowing who you're going to unlock outfit points for makes an experience that should feel rewarding feel like a chore. When you complete a difficult challenge only to get an outfit for some bloke character that you have no interest in, it feels like a gut punch.
What? Come on, Zach! You have to tell me these things sooner!
We all know no one's trying to get that shirtless Ryu Hayabusa dripping from head to toe in sweat, all covered in muscles and shit. Oh yeah, that's right, ladies and dude lovers. I see you. But seriously though, it's all uninspiring playing quest after quest and not knowing what you'll receive. Add to that the unnecessary added step of using another currency to purchase outfits after unlocking them, and you have a recipe for unnecessary tedium. All those cons aside, I actually do like the Koei experience from Dead or Alive 6. Mechanically, it's probably the best fighting game I've played since Dragon Ball FighterZ. It's all the extra nonsense that the developers have packed in the package that hurts the experience. And when I say packed into the package, the DLC is there. Characters are all well balanced, combos are easily executable by using Y and B along with directional input, as well as the A button to grab and X to counter. There's also a new ability mapped to the RB button by default that allows for special attacks, sidestepping, counters, and finishes. Special counters can block pretty much any move by using one special bar, while finishers use 2. The sensation of pulling off a sweet combo with Tina by grabbing an opponent out of the air after kneeing them in the chest is exhilarating. What about them sexy quick blows from my boy Zach that will have your opponent confused as to if they should be attempting to grab or counter? In essence, the act of playing this game is simply fun. I had a friend mention to me that the gameplay changed a bit from 5 and that she's going to need to relearn to play this one or possibly switch her mains. By the way, hey Shiori, hope you're enjoying the review. But allow me to say one thing, change isn't always that bad. The systems at play here are pretty solid, and if you need a refresher, there's always the training mode. Each character has one. For those wondering about controller support, allow me to put you at ease. The DualShock 4, Xbox One controller, and Steam controller are all supported by this game. As for the presentation, it looks stunning, even on lower settings. Character models all look like some beautiful mannequin peoples that we'd all love to smash. And don't you deny it, Stephanie, Marie, Sean, Esteban. I heard you drooling from the past through the video, through YouTube, through your screen, through the power of P-Life. And yes, that's a thing now. As mentioned before, there's a lot of shiggle action to appease your desires, and with the visual prowess on display, you wouldn't be faulted for putting the game in free play mode and just enjoying the idle animations. If that's not enough for you, then worry not. There's also a preview mode with an additional photo mode for good measure. The stages themselves are just as beautiful as the character models, and there's a lot of variety among them. The stages also have stellar environmental dangers and multiple unique areas. You're even able to choose the area you wish to begin in when selecting a stage. We also get multiple quality of life options like no sweat, less violence, and all that other boring jazz that parents may consider adjusting if they're playing this game with their kids. The voices can also be changed from English to Japanese, and I highly recommend using the Japanese because the lip syncing is dedicated to the Japanese audio only. Multiple subtitle options means no matter what option you use, you should be able to understand the dialogue. As for performance, my aforementioned friend mentioned that she was having technical issues when attempting to play the game on her rig, but for me it ran buttery smooth. This was a bit weird because her specs are better than mine, but yet she claimed to have it running really poorly. As for me, I couldn't actually get the frame rate for the game on my system, but I assume it runs somewhere between 40 and 60 frames per second. So with all that I've had to say so far about this game, here's my final verdict. Dead or Alive 6 almost got the seal of approval thanks to its wonderful gameplay, visuals, and Schiggle appreciation. But thanks to greed on the part of the developer and publisher, it garners an approach with caution status. If you're not susceptible to chronic must-haveism and just want a solid single or local multiplayer fighter, then grab this without worry. It's fun, runs well, and looks fantastic. Everyone else should use caution when approaching this title, and I usually say wait for a sale, but given Koei Tecmo's track record, it's unlikely to receive a valid enough discount, and purchasing any of the overpriced DLC is setting a bad precedent. Thank you very much for watching our review of Dead or Alive 6. If you enjoyed this review, make sure to leave us a like and a comment in the comment section below, and if you'd like to see more content like this from us, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that bell icon so you'll always know when we put up new content.